And good afternoon, race fans! Welcome here as we get ready for the 18th race of the second season of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. We are here today to go super speedway racing at Coca Cola Super Speedway. Now, the last time we were here, we saw Mason Powers complete a 2-in-a-row restrictor plate track sweep. However, we did not go to Tennessee Super Speedway last week, and Mason Powers is not in this season's field. So, Coca-Cola Speedway is going to have a new race winner here in its second turn on the schedule. We are getting ready for 34 laps of racing here today, and much like any super speedway, it always seems to cater to the underdog, the driver that's struggling in points, maybe someone we might not normally expect to see up there at the front near the end. And with it getting so close towards the chase for the championship field getting locked up, it's very important here that drivers can maybe use a wild card race like this one to try and find their way into this season's chase for the Hersheys Cup Series Championship. One driver that's starting on the pole position would love to be able to get to victory lane. That's John Cittadino. Now for Cittadino, he is almost outside the top 35 in points. He's now a non-chartered car after the charter was given over to the car that, ironically enough, is starting beside him, Cat Tellier. So that's your front row. Cittadino still looking for his first win of the season. Cat Tellier doing the same, but how ironic that the car that he had his charter given to is starting alongside of him. It's going to be a very interesting first lap, no doubt. We're also going to be having to keep an eye on the fact that right now, out of the, and I had it in my head and I just lost it, 15 different race winners that we have had this season, only 2 of them are outside the top 30 in points. We'll get to that in a minute.
Drivers, start your engines!
There is the command. So as I said, yeah, 17 of the races that we've had 15 different race winners, only 2 two-time winners. They, of course, being Charles Sanford and... yeah, I almost had who it was and I just lost it. Well, regardless, I'll get to it. I'll figure it out. But we have 15 different race winners this season. And out of those 15 race winners, 13 of them are inside the top 30 in points. I believe the lowest in points right now inside the top 30 is Charles Sanford, 2-time winner, and he's 27th in the standings. The only 2 drivers that are outside the top 30 in points with wins this season are Kyle Keith, he's 35th in points, Joshua Sekuli is 36th in points. So, right now, based on who we have locked up in the grid, 13 of the 16 spots are currently held by current race winners from this season. 3 spots available via points, and that's assuming Kyle Keith and Joshua Sekuli won't make it into the top 30 in points. If they make it into the top 30 in points, we in the future would end up having 15 of 16 slots taken by previous race winners. So, you know, it is still anybody's game here. We could have drivers go to victory lane this season that may not even be battling in the championship hunt. And we got a car on the apron. That's Jessica Shelton. And so apparently issues on the start for the 02 Mountain Dew Pitch Black Chevrolet out of Retro Racing Enterprises. Winner a couple of weeks ago at Darlington. She'll have to come down pit road. And keep in mind, Jessica Shelton ended up getting involved in a wreck yesterday during qualifying. Got involved in the wreck with Benjamin Miles. You got to wonder if maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know. Benjamin Miles starting at the rear of the field for this race as well. Here we go, though, getting ready to go green for 34 laps, a 3-mile super speedway. Who's going to take the checkers? We're underway here at Coca Cola. Cittadino leads us to turn 1. Already some drivers stepping out of line there. Trent Dunham, Anthony McCurry, saw James Richardson move from the high line to the middle line. And everybody's going to go downstairs. Keith Batson even abandons his own teammate to go down there on the inside line to... well, I thought he was going to help John Cittadino, but he's going to split it 3 wide here, going down the back straightaway. But they're all spread out, and that allows Cat Tellier, who had the draft on the outside line, to move around for the lead. And our teammate moves to second, then Zach Flickinger going to battle for that spot as he gets a run the inside. Here comes fellow U.S. Army Chevrolet, that's Ryan Madden in the 8. And Tellier out in front, leading this race, leading the first lap after starting on the outside of the front row. Zach Flickinger still determined to get that second position from Keith Batson, but one thing that I mentioned in qualifying, and we're seeing it here during the race, these drivers, unless they have someone tucked up right behind them down the straightaways, there's not a whole lot of passing that's able to go on. This track does not really cater to super speedway physics as much as other tracks do, like Talladega and Daytona. Notice back there the Phoenix logo of rookie Daniel Olson. He is making his very first start in the Hersheys Cup Series right now, scored in the 11th position. And one driver here today I think just has to basically survive would be the 09 of Kyle Matthews, who of course ended up winning a restrictor plate track race earlier on this season. Caution! Trouble in the back. That was Richardson, Kyle Keith. I think Dallas McIntosh might have gotten involved as well. We had a wreck there in the back of the field. And so the caution flag is out. The race back to the line. What I was going to say about Kyle Matthews is he comes into this race 30 points over second place, which was James Richardson, who we just saw spin around there. So caution out for the first time. Comes out here on lap 3. And I think Shelton. Is Shelton still in the lead lap? Wow. So is Dylan Young. Big break for both those cars. Dylan Young back there. I don't know what went on with him. Wait, is the caution out? There is no caution. I thought the caution was out. I thought they were racing back. There was no yellow flag. So I thought this was going to be a caution that was going to save Jessica Shelton and Dylan Young from going down a lap, but now they've just both been put down a lap to the leaders. Yeah, I think this time around, that's what we'll see. Dylan Young maybe was involved in the wreck. There's Richardson. There's Kyle Keith, Grayson Acavito, and Dallas McIntosh. Pretty sure they got involved. Don't know about Dylan Young unless he came and made an unscheduled pit stop, unless he was caught up in the wreck. And Shelton came back out on track. I thought maybe we were going to be under caution and that she would still be on the tail of the lead lap. But as you can clearly see, we are not under the yellow flag. Battle for the lead between teammates. Kat Tellier and Keith Batson. Batson trying. You got to wonder between these two drivers who wants it more. Kat Tellier is a chartered ride. Keith Batson is not. Neither one of them have found victory lane yet this season. And here comes Anthony McCrory, our winner from Charlotte. He's going for the third position off of Flickinger. No dice. Has to tuck back in line. So there is Shelton, who right now is running in the 41st position. Dylan Young is currently scored in 42nd. And she is now trapped a lap down to the leaders, trying to race her way back up here to the front, maybe get a caution then. There's JT Bryant. He's been having a real stellar season and would love to be able to find victory lane. He was a two-time winner last season. Hasn't found victory lane yet this season, but he's been very consistent. He's running well in the point stands. He just needs that win. Cittadino has now dropped back to 7th place. The pole sitter, Trent Dunham, now scored in 8th. 9th place, two-time winner Charles Sanford, as apparently we're right where the pace car is, and Sanford in a battle for that 9th position with rookie Daniel Olson. Daniel Olson out of Seth Cole Baker Motorsports and looking really good here in his Hersheys Cup Series debut. We got a battle for 7th. Trent Dunham trying to get the run on John Cittadino. Can't quite get it here, but maybe he can make the move heading into 3. Not quite. Slides up a little bit there. Well, he's going to try again out of 4. Yikes. That is close quarter racing. No doubt about that. Got a good battle go up here up front as well. Zach Flickinger's been able to move by for the 2nd position, but now Keith Batson and Anthony McCurry are going to try and go 2-on-2, inside line to outside line. And Kat Tellier moves down to actually help pull that inside line along. So as things stand, Jessica Shelton, Dylan Young, they are off the lead lap. Dallas McIntosh, Grayson Acavito, Kyle Keith, and James Richardson were probably for sure involved in the wreck that did not bring out a caution, as Keith Batson will move by for the lead. Somebody just was on pit road. That's Kyle Keith in the 42, our Pocono race winner, who's trying to make his way to the top 30 in points to have that win count towards a chase spot. This is, I believe, the second week in a row that Kyle Keith has had a teammate get him into the show and gotten involved in something. Oh, wow, we got some more cars that are damaged back here. That's last week's winner, William Brock in the 15. Behind him, Chris Dodd in the 08. They've got some damage on the front of both of their machines. Left side damage there you can see as well in the Oreo Chevrolet. There is McIntosh, Acavito, Richardson. They just crossed the line, and here come the leaders out of 4. Hey, look who's popped up into the top 10. Nathan Hudson is now up there, and he is currently scored in the 8th position. Nice run there for the Attack on Titan Chevrolet. Hudson, another driver who's got a charter now and is trying to find victory lane for the first time this season. His best finish, I believe, came at Pocono, where he finished second to Kyle Keith. It was either Pocono or maybe it was to Fitzwater a couple of weeks ago at Phoenix. I don't rightly remember. I'm pretty sure he had a runner-up finish though. But at the moment, KAB Motorsports, or KAB Enterprises, I should say, they are putting on a clinic right now, but they've got company. Here comes Anthony McCurry, Flickinger. They're bringing a whole host of friends, and they're going to have to split Kyle Keith, who had just come off pit road. And Nathan Hudson, I think, might have gotten held up behind him. Oh, they're going to go 4 wide. No, they're going to just stick with 3 wide. I thought maybe Daniel Olson might get a big enough run. He could stick at 4 wide there. And now Kyle Keith will fall off the lead lap. And I believe Jessica Shelton just picked up a spot. She did. She's now 40th. Look at this battle right here. Flickinger, McCurry. I bet these two remember each other from Lime Rock last season. These two duked it out there, and Flickinger got the better of the defending champion of this series. There's Trent Dunham. I don't want to jinx Trent, but it seems like every time here this season he has a good run going, something drastic always seems to happen to that team. Hoping that's not going to be the case today. He has a win in this series, took place last season, but he's just looking to find victory lane this season. He's looking for just a little bit of luck to come his way. Cat Tellier moves low. McCurry moves even lower. Where's the drafting help going? It's going to the middle lane. Zach Flickinger helping the 35 of Cat Tellier down the back straightaway. You have to have somebody behind you to be able to have your line move on these straightaways. And Anthony McCurry was able to move by there into the 2nd position. So now Cat Tellier looks behind her and sees a former champion of this series and a former winner this season as well, hounding her back bumper. And here comes McCurry to the inside. Looks like Chris Dodd had to come to pit road to repair the damage that he sustained. Dead even heat for first place, dead even heat for 3rd place as well. This is actually allowing Nathan Hudson to catch up here. Oh, this is good. Very interesting into 3. Hudson could maybe make it 3 wide. Nope, not going to do. Oh, yes, he is. McCurry slipped up, and Hudson's going to stick it down there. He's got Flickinger helping him. But Hudson needs the drafting help to remain with him down the back straightaway. Flickinger's still there with him. So is Trent Dunham, and Hudson leads that lap by a splitter. 3 rows of 2. And Hudson comes out in front. We had that wreck, but no caution. Things have gotten somewhat spread out, which now the big question is, what about green flag pit stops? When do they take place, and who's going to be able to have the money stop? Also the question of, can they make it on just 1 pit stop? Right now we are on lap 14. There goes Dallas McIntosh to pit road. Guess he's going to get out of the way of the leaders. You got Richardson and Acavito on the tail end of the lead lap now, just ahead of these leaders. Hudson will move to the inside. That's a tough break there. Both these drivers, Acavito and Richardson, running inside the top 10 in the point standings. And McCurry is going to get boxed in behind these two. Nathan Hudson has scampered away. Now McCurry going to be able to get to the inside, but here comes Keith Batson. Here comes Flickinger, Olson. They're 3 wide with Cat Tellier also trying to get by the now lap machines. Yikes, she almost shoved Richardson up the track there. This is the battle for 2nd. This is not the battle for the lead. The leader's way up there, Nathan Hudson. As we're watching all this battling going on here amongst basically the top 8 or 9, you got this second group that's about to catch up. Joshua Sekuli in 10th. How about Benjamin Miles? Started this race from dead last. He's up to 11th. Sanford in 12th. Emmanuel Hartnett, I think he started way in the back too, like 40th, 41st. He's 13th. JT Bryant 14th. Stephanie Gardner 15th. Points leader Kyle Matthews. He's probably going to extend his points lead again. He's 16th. Brandon Gonzalez 17th. Pole sitter Citadino's falling back to 18th. 19th Baskinger. Joseph Swigley right now runs in 20th. Cole Baker 21st. Michael Norman 22nd. Sean Galligan 23rd. 24th Zachary Fitzwater. And 25th Tim Walsh. Or no, John Arndt rather. But we're making pit stops. So there goes our full field rundown. And a couple of drivers, I guess, decided to stay out. There you see McIntyre, Lamas, Voiles, Michaels, Dougie Shears, Dylan Poteet. They were all in 1 lap earlier than these others. The leader is still Nathan Hudson. He stayed out along with Daniel Olson, McCrory, Trent Dunham, Joshua Sekuli, Emmanuel Hartnett, and JT Bryant. Everybody else has come to pit road at this point. Now let's see if these leaders come in. Here they come. Nathan Hudson is in. Looks like somebody spun coming to pit road. Some skid marks there, but the question is, are we under caution for that? We weren't under caution for one thing. Let's see if we're under caution for this. Nope. Lights are still on, or out atop the pace car. Car we're going to have to watch is Nathan Hudson. Also worth mentioning, they are pitting right now at the halfway point of this race. And Dylan Young, the lap machine, will also come into pit road. So Hudson down and away. Here comes Hartnett. Hudson going to try and beat McCrory out, and Daniel Olson. He succeeds on beating out McCrory. Where's the 52? 52 is going to come out just behind him. And now the cars that they have to look out for are Keith Batson, Zach Flickinger, and Kat Tellier, who were up in the lead pack with them, but pitted 1 lap earlier. They're being very careful coming off pit road. It's a very flat, very slippery pit road. Last thing you want to do is mess up the exit, spin out, and lose a chance at a prime position, possibly a win. Looking over on the right side, seeing if we can spot the 73, the 01, the 38, 35, any of those drivers, and I'm not seeing them. Hudson's going to check out. Olson, McCrory, Hartnett. There's the lap car of Jessica Shelton, and here comes the other group. Flickinger and Batson heading the second group that came to pit road first. And it looks like Flickinger, after all that, will cycle around maybe second place. He's catching up here to McCrory and Olson, but Nathan Hudson, his team, did an excellent job getting him out ahead. But now here's the problem. These guys are all going to be in a group. Olson, McCrory, Batson, Flickinger. They're going to add Carson Scott to their group. Maybe Emmanuel Hartnett. 4, 5, 6 cars are going to produce a lot more speed than one car running by itself, even if they aren't in a super tight draft. The last time by, Hudson was 2.77 seconds ahead. Let's see if the gap shrinks this time by. And then we will give you your full field rundown once they've crossed the stripe. This time by, 2.7. What is it now? 2.78. It basically stayed the same, at least for the moment. So here's your full field rundown. Nathan Hudson is the leader. Anthony McCurry second. Third is Zach Flickinger. Fourth, Carson Scott. Fifth, Keith Batson. Sixth, Emmanuel Hartnett. Seventh is Daniel Olson. 8th, Benjamin Miles. 9th, Ryan Madden. Caution flag is out as Kyle Matthews completes the top 10. Sanford's 11th. 12th is Stephanie Gardner. 13th, Brandon Gonzalez. 14th, Dylan Poteet. 15th is Jake Baskinger. 16th, Michael Norman. 17th, Kat Tellier. 18th, Sean Galligan. 19th will be Trent Dunham. And 20th is Joshua Sekuli. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think the caution may have either been caused or involved Trent, because he was 12th last time by, lost a ton of positions, may lose another one coming here to the line. Sekuli trying to take the spot, not going to be able to do it. Trent will cross the line in 19th. But I think he might have been either the cause or somehow involved, because he dropped about 8-9 spots. The question is, though, who's the car that left that smoke there in the top of turn 1-2? There's your answer. Dallas McIntosh in the 16. McIntosh was off the lead lap, I believe. Got involved in the first wreck that didn't bring out a caution. And a bad day goes even worse for the Cheez-It Ford. This is also going to be a big break for a number of drivers who had lost the draft, lost the lead pack. This is going to bunch everybody back up. Probably the one person in this whole field that did not want to see that caution flag might have been Nathan Hudson. Cat Tellier also lost a number of positions on pit road. There you see the 35 way back here. And looks like some drivers are going to roll the dice. Dylan Pote was in not too long ago. He's on pit lane. Is anybody else gambling? Shelton's on pit road. I don't know if that's a regularly scheduled stop or if she teleported there. William Brock's coming to pit lane as well. Elijah Gordon's got some front end damage. Maybe Pote got a piece of the incident? Whatever the case, we are going to go back and we are going to look at 3 different replays. We're first going to look at the wreck that didn't bring out the caution flag way back on lap 3. Then we're going to take a look at the spin, apparently, that took place at the entrance to pit road during the cycle of green flag pit stops. And then we'll look to see what actually did bring out our first official caution flag of the day here at Coca Cola Speedway. Nathan Hudson is your current leader. Well, the field's bunched up on the start of the race. They're going to attempt to go 4 wide, and unfortunately, they can do 4 wide on the straightaway. They just don't give each other much room. Right there, you can see Grace Nacavito pushes James Richardson up into Chris Dodd, and then he comes back down, clips the 66 once again, and there's just nowhere for any of these guys back here to go. Left side of your screen, there's William Brock going to get the piece there. Kyle Keith gets hooked up into the outside wall. That was actually a pretty hard lick for the 42. Then he's going to come down. He's going to get Dallas McIntosh in the 16. I'm going to look back here just real quick, because at this time, I think Dylan Young made an unscheduled pit stop as well. So I didn't know if he got involved in the wreck or if he just came to pit road for some specific reason. Apparently that's the case. So 2 drivers have already had some kind of, I don't know if it's mechanical issues or what, Dylan Young and Jessica Shelton. Then this happened. Now let's see who it was that spun coming to pit road. And apparently it was the 5 of Tim Walsh, we're being told. So let's see what happens here coming to pit lane. Walsh behind John Arndt. Zachary Fitzwater makes a late reaction to pit road. And that might potentially be the reason. Oh, watch the 44 of Elijah Gordon. Oh, he just comes in really hot and just runs over the Kellogg Chevrolet of Tim Walsh, who was trying not to run in the back of John Arndt. Now, I remembered seeing some front-end damage on Elijah Gordon's Ring of Honor Chevrolet, so that explains it right there, where that damage came from. And it's a wonder Tim Walsh didn't slide into the back of Benjamin Miles, who was just a few feet ahead of him, getting service on his machine. So that is what caused the smoke, and that is the car that spun coming to pit road. No fault of his for Tim Walsh. That was all on Elijah Gordon. Now let's take a look at what actually brought out the caution flag for the first time today here at Coca-Cola. Well, Jessica Shelton had been to pit road earlier before we even dropped the green flag. I think we now get an indication of why. Here on the front straightaway, the engine on the 02 car, you're going to see right about here, it's just going to let go. Right there. Yep. Here you see the sparks, the fire out the tailpipes. So that car was not doing well at the start of the race. We knew that. Now we get an indication of why. And this is why Trent Dunham lost so many spots right there. That explains why Trent went from 12th back several spots. But then everybody's trying to get out of the way. Shelton's on the apron. And then, and then Dallas McIntosh just didn't give any room, slides up, almost collects JT Bryant, and almost collects Sean Galligan. How did everybody else avoid this? How in the world did everybody else avoid that? Holy cow. Splitting the gap. Look at this again. That car, on sliding up the racetrack, right there, is going 140 miles per hour. Just avoids JT Bryant, just avoids Sean Galligan, Chris Dodd. And keep in mind, for these drivers, their cars, with the way that this track is banked, their cars are sliding up the racetrack. It is a wonder we did not have 4, 5, 6 cars involved in this one. How we got away with only 2, but Dallas McIntosh, I don't know if his spotter didn't tell him that the 02 was down the apron or not. Now, Shelton got down on the apron, and then the car kind of stuck there between the apron and the racetrack and slid up there at the last minute. But to be honest, I don't think that even that would have made any difference with McIntosh being as low as he was making contact. Only thing that's confusing me, though, is McIntosh doesn't have his hood all crunched up like he did before. Does he get hit by somebody else? Or does something else? Oh, wait a minute. Yes, he does. That's Zachary Fitzwater in the 76. It's going to come into view here on the right side of your screen. McIntosh, I don't know what he was doing, and he just got clobbered by Fitzwater. That's going to take Fitzwater out of this race. By the way, remember I couldn't remember who the other 2-time winner was this season. It's Fitzwater. I told you I'd remember it. Only 20 laps later. And that is what caused all the damage on Dallas McIntosh. And there you can see Zachary Fitzwater. His day is obviously over as well. So let's go back now for the restart. I think we're going to have quite a number of drivers out of the race. 3 drivers came to pit road with black smoke billowing from underneath their machines. The Chevy of Shelton, the Dart of Fitzwater, and the Ford of Dallas McIntosh. Let's see who's left, who's where, as we get ready to go back green. The lights are out atop the pace car. Let's take a look and see who's out of the race after this. And it is basically the 3 cars that you would have expected. Shelton, Fitzwater, and McIntosh. 5 drivers are a lap down, but we will be getting the restart with 10 to go. Therefore, there will be no lap traffic for the leaders to contend with on the inside line. Those lap cars will be Grayson Acavito, James Richardson, Dylan Young, Kyle Keith, and Chris Dodd. Your top 10 when we go back to green. Nathan Hudson out in front. Carson Scott is now second. Third place, Zach Flickinger. Benjamin Miles up in fourth. Fifth place, Emmanuel Hartnett. Anthony McCurry is sixth. Seventh, Keith Batson. Daniel Olson. What a great run there for that rookie. What a place to debut at. A track like this, perfect for a rookie to have his first taste of action in a points-paying race. He's in eighth. Kyle Matthews, the points leader. He's looking really good right now. He's in ninth. And completing your top 10 is Ryan Madden. Go a little bit further down. Stephanie Gardner restarts 11th. Charles Sanford 12th. 13th, Brandon Gonzalez. 14th, Jake Baskinger. 15th will be Michael Norman. 16th place is Kat Tellier. Sean Galligan 17th. Trent Dunham slipped back to 18th after he had to avoid running over Jessica Shelton, as we saw. Joshua Sikuli's 19th. And completing your top 20 is JT Bryant. Nathan Hudson trying to pick up the first win of the season for Michael Norman Motorsports, and first win of his career. Green flag back out. 10 laps to go here at Coca Cola. And they're going to start fanning out here. There goes Miles, Matthews, Norman, Gonzalez, Sakuli, all jumping to the inside line. As Hudson's going to pull away by a little bit there between himself, Carson Scott, Benjamin Miles. As I look at the top 10, 4 of the top 10 have been to victory lane this season already. Carson Scott at Infineon, Benjamin Miles at Bristol Dirt, Anthony McCurry at Charlotte, and Kyle Matthews at Daytona. Three of the drivers in the top 10 have not won this season, but won last season. Emmanuel Hartnett, Zach Flickinger, and Ryan Madden. The only drivers that are right now in the top 10 that haven't won any Hersheys Cup Series race in any way, shape, or form are the current leader Nathan Hudson, Stephanie Gardner, and Keith Batson, as Benjamin Miles goes for the lead. Trying to join Charles Sanford and Zachary Fitzwater as a two-time winner this season and confirm himself a spot in this season's chase for the championship. Kyle Matthews back there tried 3 wide, but nobody went to the bottom with him. He's going to lose a couple of spots as a result. Nathan Hudson trying the high line there to get a little bit of the slipstream off the 38, but Miles got off that corner really nicely and actually opened up a gap between himself and the 7 car. Look at some of these contenders up here at the end. Michael Norman there in the 3. Joshua Sekuli in the 47. Stephanie Gardner in the 82. It's still anybody's game. Still quite a ways to go here. A lot of racing to be done. It ain't over yet. And now I'm pretty certain these drivers will not have to worry about pit stops here to the end of this race, because they would have been able to clutch and save some under that caution flag after just being on pit road. And they had pitted at that time at the halfway point, so there's no doubt they can make it the other half. As Nathan Hudson knocking on the door. Now here's the problem for Hudson. He needs somebody behind him if he makes a move to be able to help continue his forward momentum. Kyle Matthews is the next car in line. The question is, if Hudson makes a move, will Kyle Matthews go with him? Top 3 have broken away for the moment. They're all separated from each other by about a car length. Then it's about maybe 6-7 car lengths back to 3rd place, Carson Scott. Benjamin Miles out of NW Racing. Nathan Hudson out of Michael Norman Motorsports. Kyle Matthews out of Retro Racing Enterprises. 3 Chevrolets, 3 different teams, 2 drivers that have been to victory lane already this season. Matter of fact, right now, Chevrolets are dominating this thing. They hold, I believe it's 8 of the top 10 spots right now. And here comes Kyle Matthews. This is for 2nd. And the inside line, drafting help or not, gets the better run off the corner. As you saw there, Kyle Matthews very easily clearing Nathan Hudson for the lead. Now, Kyle Matthews, keep in mind, his win this season came at the Great American Race Daytona 500. He knows how to put himself in position to win these super speedway races. Right now, he is in position number 2, trying to run down Benjamin Miles, but he might have to worry about Nathan Hudson, because here comes Hudson again. Seems like every time someone gets a bit of a run on Benjamin Miles through 1 and 2, Miles counters it with a great run off of turn 4. Joshua Sekuli going for 3rd place. Underneath Nathan Hudson. Keep in mind, Sekuli's outside the top 30 in points, former winner this season at Martinsville. A 2nd win here this season could definitely help his chances towards getting towards the top, into the top 30. And if it came down to it, with drivers with most wins getting in, say that we had 16 different race winners with 1 win, Sekuli would jump all the way up to 3rd place, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, with Sanford and Fitzwater as a 2-time winner. But all this is going on behind Benjamin Miles, who's loving to see this racing behind him rather than right on his back door. Sekuli and Hudson in a deadlock for 2nd place. Miles continuing to run the bottom. That gives him that great run off, but Sekuli gets a nice run there out of turn number 2. He might be able to get a nice draft down the back straightaway. This one might not be over. Here comes Sekuli. Right to the back bumper. Will he make a move? Not this time, but he's there. Oh, he's going to look. He's looking. He'll stay in line for now. 3 laps to go this time by. Miles, our winner at Bristol. Sekuli, our winner at Martinsville. This is not a short track. This is a super speedway, but both these drivers want their 2nd win of the season. Miles drives it in deep. Sekuli about a half groove higher, looking to get the run off the corner again. Nathan Hudson still within striking distance if these two make a mistake or if they start battling with each other. And Kyle Matthews running right there in 4th. I don't think he's going to force the issue yet. He's got a points lead to preserve. Boy, Miles gets off turn 4 so well on that inside line. He grows the gap between himself and Sekuli again. 2 more laps to go. And Hudson thought about 2nd place again. Can't do it. Now he might try it here in 1 and 2. Oh boy, that is tight between these two. Oh my goodness, I thought they were going to wreck each other. I thought Hudson was going to turn Sekuli. How he didn't, I'm not really sure. Benjamin Miles just hoping he can continue to get the run off of turn number 4 like he's been able to do the last few laps. Hudson moving to second, trying to anyway. White flag displayed this time. And Hudson doesn't have a drafting partner. Oh boy, this could get very interesting very quickly. Here comes Kyle Matthews. 3 wide for second. Can he make it stick? Oh, we got a couple of cars that came to pit road. That looked like Charles Sanford was one of them. Couldn't tell the other. Brandon Gonzalez. A couple of cars couldn't make it on fuel. Wait, where did Matthews go? Did Matthews run out of fuel? Oh no, he slipped back to 5th. Benjamin Miles, can he make it on fuel? Through turns 3 and 4, he's got a few car lengths in hand between himself and Sekuli. And coming off turn number 4, that car is still under power, and he is going to take the checkered flag here at Coca Cola Speedway, his 2nd win of the season. And I think Anthony McCrory just gave up the 9th position to come to pit road. Somebody did. I thought saw somebody dive to pit lane. Maybe not. Michael Norman apparently couldn't have made it get on fuel. Baskinger. Cody Lamas. Cat Tellier. We saw Sanford coming off pit road. He apparently couldn't make it. He had to make a pit stop. There's Brock. I'm pretty sure he pitted. I think Joshua Michaels might have pit. Dougie Shears might have pit. Quite a number of drivers that couldn't make it, and I think, well, I thought maybe Miles might be out of fuel, but apparently he is not. He is still under power. And he'll have enough fuel to get that car to victory lane. 2nd time this year, the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet will go to victory lane. Benjamin Miles joins Charles Sanford and Zachary Fitzwater as a confirmed lock-in to this season's chase for the championship, provided he stays in the top 30 in the point standings. But I'll tell you what, Benjamin Miles, past 3 or 4 weeks, that team has picked up about 10-15 spots in the point standings, and they are just continuing to climb. Sekuli will come away with 2nd, but this is certainly going to help him in his quest to continue to try and get towards the top 30 in points. Matter of fact, I think this might be the second place finish in the last 3 or 4 races for Sekuli. So they've actually done pretty well here in the last few weeks. Carson Scott, he'll get 3rd. Nathan Hudson was so close. He led the most laps, I believe. And he's going to end up finishing in 4th place, though. Kyle Matthews will continue to grow his points lead as he'll finish 5th. Flickinger in 6th. Sean Galligan in 7th. 8th place for Stephanie Gardner. Anthony McCurry will finish in 9th. And John Citadini, the pole sitter, will come away with a solid top 10 finish. Daniel Olson in his debut will finish the day out in the 18th position, so a pretty nice debut race for him. There you can see drivers that had to come to pit road that could not make it. Pretty sure that a number of them included the likes of Michael Norman, Jake Baskinger, Cat Tellier, Cody Lamas, Brandon Gonzalez, Charles Sanford, Joshua Michaels, and Dougie Shears. 3 drivers finished out of the race: Zachary Fitzwater, Jessica Shelton, and Dallas McIntosh. 30 cars finished on the lead lap. James Richardson finished in 34th. Zachary Fitzwater finished in 40th. Those 2 drivers came into this race 2nd and 3rd in the point standings. As a matter of fact, Brandon Gonzalez also came in top 4 in the points. He finished 31st. The guy they were chasing, Kyle Matthews, finishes 5th. That points lead is going to be massive heading into next week. There is absolutely no doubt about that. Speaking of next week, we are going to be going to maybe one of the more exciting racetracks out there as far as fuel mileage is concerned. We're going to Rockingham, North Carolina. Yes, indeed, Rockingham is where we're going, the Rock. And we're going to see who's going to be able to take the checkered flag there at that racetrack. So, that wraps it up here with our coverage from Coca Cola Speedway. Benjamin Miles picks up his 2nd win of the season and has all but locked himself a spot in this season's chase for the championship. 8 more races left to go before we're going to find out the official 16 that will battle for the championship. But right now, pretty good idea that Charles Sanford, Zachary Fitzwater, and Benjamin Miles will be 3 of those 16 competitors. Thank you all so much for watching. Here's your full finish results once again. If you enjoyed this race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Now we'll show you your rookie point standings as well as your overall point standings heading to next week at Rockingham, North Carolina. Till then, I'm Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.